I moved into the apartment because of the quiet. That's what I told myself. Anyway, after years in downtown chaos, sirens, parties, neighbors screaming through walls, I wanted something dead still. I found on the top floor of an older four-story brick building, tucked away on a street no one seemed to use. The listing emphasized the words "no neighbors above or beside," a rare find in the city. The rent was low, too low, but I was tired and it seemed perfect. And for the first few days, there were no sounds from adjacent units because, as promised, there were none. The walls didn't hum with conversation or footsteps or music, just silence, pure, blank, restful silence. But silence is never just silence. The first night, I didn't notice anything strange, but the second night I did. I was brushing my teeth, and for just a second, I thought I heard something, a shift in the air, a breath, almost like someone had inhaled sharply right behind me. I turned, of course, the bathroom was empty. I laughed at myself and went to bed. By the fifth night, I realized something. The silence wasn't passive, it wasn't nothing. It was pressure. It pressed in from the walls, from the ceiling, from inside my ears. The more I tried to enjoy it, the more I realized it was waiting, like it was holding its breath. One night, I dropped my keys on the floor. The sound made me jump, not because it was loud, but because it was violated. The silence recoiled, like something had been disturbed, like it had been asleep. That same night, I tried an experiment. I clapped my hands once loudly. The echo was strange, muffled, like it hadn't bounced off the walls, like the room had swallowed it. I clapped again louder. The silence didn't return naturally, it snapped back like a door closing. I felt a chill crawl up my back. So I stopped making sound. But the silence didn't stop listening. A few nights later, I woke up at 3:12 a.m. There was no sound as usual, but something was different. I couldn't tell at first, just a sense that the room had changed, not physically, just tonally. I got up and walked to the living room. Nothing. No lights on, no neighbors. But the stillness felt thicker. So I whispered hello. And that was the first time I realized silence has memory. Because when I whispered, I swear I heard something mimic me. Not immediately, not loudly, but from the direction of the kitchen. Hello. Same tone, same word delayed. I froze, didn't move for what felt like 10 minutes. Eventually, I backed into my room and closed the door. I stopped speaking after that. Days went by, and I didn't say a word. I started texting instead of calling. I stopped watching TV. I unplugged the microwave because of its beep. I became obsessed with protecting the silence. Not because I enjoyed it, but because I feared what happened after. One night, I dropped a spoon, just a spoon. It bounced once, twice, and spun on the tile. And from the other room, something moved. I didn't see it, but I heard it. Not a voice, not footsteps, just a single adjustment of weight, like someone in the dark, shifting on a couch. That was when I realized the silence wasn't empty. It was a roommate. I considered leaving, of course I did, but it wasn't that easy anymore. I tried to look up the building's history. No deaths, no reports. I called the landlord and asked about the insulation. He laughed and said, "You're probably the quietest tenant I've ever had." But when I asked him if he'd ever stayed in the unit, he paused. "No," he said, "not overnight, not in that one." I hung up. That same night, I had a dream. In the dream, I was standing in the center of the living room, and the walls were gone, just endless black stretching in every direction. but the silence was the same. And in that void, I heard the door open behind me. Not crash, not creak. Open, deliberately, slowly, carefully, and behind me, something was breathing deep, patient quiet. I turned, and there was the room. My room, but from outside, as if I was looking in from wherever it lived. I woke up screaming, but there was no sound. My mouth was open. I knew I was screaming, but the room, the silence, had taken it. It had learned. And when I looked over at the mirror on my nightstand, I saw myself. But not as I was. I was still lying in bed. The reflection was sitting up, smiling. I moved out the next day. Didn't pack, didn't speak. And when I closed the front door behind me, I swear I heard something from inside say, goodbye, but not in my voice, in its